So I'm currently in quarantine in South Korea. Uh, this is day 2 being in quarantine. They give you a lot of food, like a lot more than I can eat. Um, yeah, it's a lot. 3 meals a day. They give me two of these 2,000 milliliter bottles every morning, and one of these 350 milliliter bottles with every meal. Uh, Cannot leave the room at all. Have to sign in an app twice a day to check vitals and everything like that. I had to get tested when I came here. It was really awful. Like, they stuck a freaking big ass cotton swab down my throat. I gagged, almost threw up. Then they stuck another one all the way into my nasal cavity. Yeah, it was pretty bad. But when I arrived in South Korea, I had to fill out so many forms. It was insane how many forms I had to fill out. I had to go through at least 5 lines of people, and oh my god, it was absolutely ridiculous. But I understand they don't want to spread the coronavirus. But I was worried when I went through the second line, because they said I needed a Korean contact. I don't have any Korean friends. I'm just here for travel. There's a lot of political turmoil going on in the United States, and coronavirus is kind of spiky in the United States due to the protests. So I just wanted to get away for a couple months, get out of the country. But yeah, at first I was worried that they wouldn't let me in. The guy had to speak with the supervisor, and then the guy was like, I don't know. And then they said I could, and then the supervisor came up after like 15 minutes. She's like, "Oh, you don't know any Korean people?" And I said, "No." Then she said, "Oh, well, you can buy Korean phone from over there, and then we'll use that as emergency contact information." And I was like, "All right." So I left my credit card at home in the United States. I only had a debit card, and they only accepted credit cards. Luckily, though, I have a VoIP phone number, so I added international credits to that number, and they let me use it. I mean, luckily. And then I had to go through a third line, fill out 3 more forms, and all of them wanted to know what my address was. Every single form that I filled out, like 10 of them, maybe more, wanted to know what my address that I would be staying at was. And Korean addresses are so long, and I don't have the best handwriting in the world. So yeah, I had to download 2 apps. Yeah, and then came the coronavirus testing. And then after that, a temperature check. And after walking around all day, I was like, hot. So they checked my temperature, and the guy was like, "Oh, well, you got a little bit of a temperature. Maybe it's because you've been walking around all day. Just sit down and get your and we'll get you some water." And I was like, "All right." Drank like 2 bottles of water. 10 minutes later, I come up, and my temperature's fine. And they said, yeah, it's because you've been walking around all day. And I was like, yeah, I figured as much. And it was a long, stressful trip, too. Stress can cause a little bit of a temperature, too. But yeah, so now I'm in quarantine, and for another 12 days, it's not that bad. A lot of YouTube videos, but that's about it. I'll keep you guys updated after I get out of quarantine. Alright, bye.